We are in the middle of a rebellion. Right now. A massive power struggle that's completely reshaping the future of artificial intelligence. For the last decade or so, if you wanted to build anything serious in AI, you had to pay tribute to one company. Just one. They set the prices, they controlled the supply. They were, without a doubt, the king of the hardware that fueled this entire AI revolution. But a rebellion is brewing. The biggest tech empires on the planet, we're talking Google, Amazon, OpenAI, they are just done paying what's become known as the king's tax. So they're forging their own weapons, and that throne, it's starting to show some serious cracks. This is a declaration of independence. So what's this really all about? Is it just about building faster chips? No, not at all. It's a fight for control, a fight for efficiency, a fight for the very foundation of what comes next in AI. This, right here, is the story of silicon sovereignty. Okay, so the king we've been talking about, it's Nvidia, of course. For years, their GPUs, their graphics processing units, they were the iron throne of AI. But that dominance, it came with a pretty hefty price tag. We're talking about the Nvidia tax, and the tech giants are now doing everything they can to escape it. And this is the real turning point. The race for AI supremacy, it's not just about who can build the smartest model anymore. Oh no. It has morphed into a brutal, down-and-dirty war of efficiency. The real prize, the crown, goes to whoever can squeeze out the most AI output, the most tokens, for every single watt of energy they burn, and at the absolute lowest cost. And that is what's lighting the fire under this rebellion. This whole move to build their own custom silicon, it's not some fancy preference. For these companies, it's literally become a matter of survival. So let's dig into the why. It really boils down to three main things pushing this whole revolution forward. First up, it's about the money. We're talking billions in savings. Second, it's about power. And I mean both electrical power and strategic power. And finally, it's about being the master of your own destiny in this new age of AI. Okay, first, let's talk economics, because the numbers here are just staggering. By designing their own chips, companies like Microsoft and Amazon are seeing a 40 to 60% drop in their total cost of ownership. That's not just a rounding error, that's billions of dollars. Billions they can then pump back into the AI services that, you and I use every single day, making them cheaper, faster, and way more powerful. Second, there's a looming energy crisis. Data centers are literally hitting a wall. They're running up against the physical limits of local power grids. And custom chips? They're the answer. They're designed for one thing: radical efficiency. Just look at this number from Amazon's new Trainium chip. It's cranking out 5 times more AI output per megawatts. That's not a small tweak. That's a quantum leap, both for sustainability and for their ability to scale up. And that brings us to the final piece: independence. The next big wave in AI is what people are calling agents, these autonomous systems that are just going to be working for us 24/7. To power that kind of future, you absolutely cannot be at the mercy of a single supplier. It's a non-starter. So, by building their own silicon, these companies get to control their own destiny. They make sure they have the exact hardware they need, right when they need it, no more waiting in line. All right, so that's the why. Now let's get into the how. What exactly makes these custom chips the perfect weapon for this rebellion? Well, it all comes down to their fundamental design. The weapon of choice here is something called an ASIC. That stands for Application-Specific Integrated Circuit. Now, don't think of it as a jack of all trades. It's the exact opposite. It's a master of one. It's a total specialist designed from the ground up to do a single job with just breathtaking perfection. And this is a great way to think about it. An Nvidia GPU, that's your Swiss Army knife. It's amazing. It can do gaming, pro graphics, AI, a little bit of everything. But all that versatility comes with what you could call graphics baggage, extra hardware that's completely useless for AI tasks. Now the AI ASIC, that's a surgeon's scalpel. It has one job and one job only: to perform the very specific matrix math that powers AI. It's completely stripped down, totally focused, and just brutally efficient. Here's another way to think about it. Using a super powerful GPU for a simple chatbot query, it's like using a Ferrari to deliver the mail. Yeah, the mail will get there, but you're burning an insane amount of fuel and using this incredible machine for a task that a simple, specialized, and efficient little vehicle could handle no problem. Of course, this whole rebellion isn't happening in some kind of bubble. It is completely redrawing the map of the entire semiconductor industry. Old allegiances, they're fracturing, and new power players are rising from the chaos. So how's everyone reacting? Well, Nvidia is pivoting. They're moving from just selling chips to selling entire AI factories. AMD, they're smartly positioning themselves as the open, neutral alternative, kind of the Switzerland of this whole chip war. Intel is betting the farm on being the one to actually manufacture these new custom chips for everyone. But the ultimate winner in all of this? It might just be TSMC. They're the foundry, the factory that's become the arms dealer to all sides. They're making pretty much everyone's designs. So how does the king fight back? By watching its rivals very, very closely. They saw the rise of these hyper-specialized chips, like the one from a company called Groq, their language processing unit, or LPU. And just look at the speed difference for AI inference tasks. Groq's chip is up to 7.5 times faster. That is the kind of existential threat that keeps a king awake at night. So what did Nvidia do? They made a stunning move, a $20 billion deal where they essentially bought Groq's brainpower without actually buying the company itself. It was a brilliant, you might even say desperate maneuver. They licensed the tech, hired away the best engineers, and basically absorbed their rival's massive speed advantage to patch up the biggest weakness in their own GPU empire. So where does this all lead? What's the ultimate goal here? For the companies building their own chips, the endgame is one thing: total control. It's a strategy we call vertical integration. Take a look at this stack. It tells the whole story. These companies are now controlling every single layer of the process. At the bottom, they design the custom silicon, the actual chip. In the middle, they run it on their own massive cloud platforms. And at the very top, they develop the groundbreaking AI models that run on that hardware. It is total transistor-to-token control. And what this does is create this just devastatingly powerful feedback loop. See, when you design your own hardware, you can tailor it perfectly for your software. And when you write your software, you can optimize it perfectly for your unique hardware. That synergy creates this incredible efficiency advantage, a competitive moat that's so deep and so wide that any company just buying chips off the shelf has almost no hope of ever crossing it. And that brings us to the final and most important question. For years, Nvidia's real trump card wasn't just its hardware. It was its software, CUDA, an ecosystem that has locked in an entire generation of developers. But now, as the biggest tech companies in the world declare their independence and build their own custom silicon, we have to ask, in this new age of silicon sovereignty, is a software moat, no matter how deep you build it, really strong enough to hold back the tide of a revolution?